Good morning, YouTubers. It's NASCAR Man 3345. Day number 2. This is Monday. We're here. It's a little cloudy, kind of, iffy day. But man, we're here having a blast. We're heading over to Kitty Hawk. So when we get here, and we're gonna have some fun at Kitty Hawk. We got our VIP shirts, and and we're just gonna have so much fun. I'll just keep on going, and we'll keep it going. I want everybody to enjoy themselves. But all right, we'll see you in a little bit. Bye. Okay, we are here at Kitty Hawk. This is actually Kitty Hawk, where the Wright brothers flew.
All right, folks, this is it.
It's a museum. We're gonna be heading in a little bit, so just gonna let you guys know. All right. Here is the museum. Going in. Cool. This is Kitty Hawk. Wright Brothers Visitor Center. So, right here, people coming in. Watching. Go back in a little bit. Now, here's the museum, guys. We're here. Museum store, exhibit. I want to see the plane. That's all I want.
Where is it?
It's over there. I guess it says right. Is that what I'm reading? Yeah. So.
Oh shit, my shirt's way too tight.
You're buffing it out, dude.
Yeah, I got Hulk out.
So what do we have to go wait for the tour?
Self-guided.
Oh, it is?
I'm pretty sure.
So. No, they're showing this is all in Braille. What happened. So, you want to go over and see?
Oh, this says
Space Bishop.
yeah.
Touch here.
Yeah. This doesn't say anything right here.
First
Oh, wait a minute,
here.
it says over here. It says hanger.
Outside.
Oh, it says, quarters.
Rhode Island.
West Virginia, Connecticut, or
Iowa,
Massachusetts.
Rhode Island.
Awesome. Cool. Welcome, you guys. Bunch of Northeasterners. Well, welcome. We appreciate you coming out on this cold and blustery day. Yeah, I bet. So here at the Wright Brothers National Memorial is where we celebrate the first powered flight that is heavier than air by man. So it's no small feat, of course, and the story for it is also very fascinating. These two brothers, they're actually from Dayton, Ohio, so a little ways away from here. But they have very kind of humble beginnings. Their parents, their mom is, of course, women at the time mostly stay at home. She did attend college, though. She was a very educated woman, very mechanically inclined. Their father was a minister, so he traveled around a lot with the churches. But Orville and Wilbur, they both, from a very young age, were fascinated with tinkering. They were tinkerers. Their father actually brought home one day a toy that you would spin it and it would fly into the air and slowly come down, and they wore that thing out. So many times that it would break, they would just rebuild it because they knew how it was put together, which is really, really cool. And that's kind of what got them started with the idea that maybe they could fly one day. Wilbur Wright, he actually wrote one time in a paper or in a letter actually, that he was afflicted with the fact that man could one day fly. Usually you don't say you're afflicted with something if you have a dream, right? You don't say follow your afflictions. You say follow your dreams. But it kind of says how passionate he felt about the idea of flight for man. So that's going to be a really important piece of the story later. So when these guys, they start thinking about wanting to take flight, and they had read different stories about people from all around the world that were using wings to glide, they were like, oh, well, let's use some of this information, and we're going to try to find somewhere that's super windy, because one thing you really need is going to be wind, right? So they actually Googled, where's the windiest places in America, right? They didn't Google it. It's a very similar concept, though. They actually did write a letter to the U.S. Weather Bureau. They said, where is the windiest places in America? They respond, of course, Chicago, the windy city, is up on the list. There were several places on the list, but Kitty Hawk, at the time that was this town, it was Kitty Hawk, it wasn't Kill Devil Hills yet. Kitty Hawk was number 6. So they were like, okay, well let's find out a little bit more about this area. So they write the local postmaster, weather bureau man. They said, well, we know you have wind. What else is it like? What is it like there this time of year? What is it like there during the summer and the winter? How are the winds? Are they constant? Are they just here and there? What about them? And the man wrote him back a very personal message. He was like, hey, we have a lot of sand. We have only about 65 people in our town. But yeah, if you come here, you will be welcomed with very hospitable people. And it's just that little personal touch that the Wright brothers thought, this is the place we want to go. Because like I said, they had the wind, and they were thinking sand would be nice in case there's a crash landing, right? You don't want to crash on hard ground. And then the isolation factor of only having 65 people, they're not going to be bothered. People trying to steal their idea, or just people in general asking them questions. They don't have to worry about that because it's not a very big town at all. So in the 1900s, they come here during the late summer, fall time. They come here, they actually build a glider in Ohio. They bring it back, or bring it to here. They have to take a train all the way from Dayton, Ohio to Elizabeth City. There's a couple of different connections in there. But from Elizabeth City, how do they get to an island? They have to take a boat, right? So when they come here on a boat, the boat that they ride on and that they get to bring their stuff is actually very poor condition of a boat. It's a little bit of, I wouldn't probably want to get on that boat. The galley, they say, is really bad, and it's a 2-day boat ride. So Wilbur, when he first comes, he doesn't eat for 2 days. He survives off of eating some jam that his sister made and brought to him, or took him for the trip. So that's really, when you get here and you're hungry, luckily a lot of Southern women at the time like, hey, let's get you some food. So the Southern hospitality, exactly. So the woman that Wilbur meets first, she, of course, there's no microwaves or anything like that. She has to fire up the oven, get some stuff out of the icebox. She actually cooks him a full meal, which is awesome. So, like I said, they come here in the 1900s bringing just a glider because they're studying how flight works. I mean, they study the birds. They study with that glider, it's not heavy enough, or it's not sturdy enough to carry their weight, so they use it as a kite when they observe. They watch how it flows in the wind. They watch how the birds flow in the wind as well. So that's kind of what they're studying the very first time they come. 1901, they come with a little bit bigger glider, which is really cool. Once again, not the heaviest or the best suited to carry humans. So they're using the big Kill Devil Hill, which is behind me. You guys are there's actually a really cool tactile model. You can put your hands on. There's braille on it as well, right behind you in the middle of this room. But they're able to use that hill as a nice gliding point. So they're still studying how they're going back and forth, to and fro, and with the lift and everything, with the winds that's here. 1902 comes. They have a little bit bigger plane. There's 2 camps out here, or there's 2 buildings out here on the grass. There's a camp building, which is where they would have camped. It was actually the original hangar that they used. And then right next to it is a replica of the hangar that they would have used in 1903 for their last bigger plane that they brought here. All these planes, they were actually put together in Dayton, Ohio, or assembled in Dayton, Ohio, but disassembled, brought here, and then reassembled. Then, kind of flash forward to in 1901, they came here in the heat of the summer, right? Summer in the South is not the best time to be here. A little hot, but they have a lot of failures that summer, just with the glider, and they just get really discouraged. And Wilbur, the one who once said that he was afflicted with the thought of flight, he tells his brother on the train ride back, he's like, man is not going to fly in 1,000 years or more. We're not going to see this in our lifetime. So, I mean, it's you see how this man who is just so passionate about flight, it just really wears him down. He gets really upset about it. So when they get back to Dayton, Ohio in 1901, I'm sorry, they're invited to speak at this Western Engineers Conference. So these are bright engineers of the time, these college-educated people. Wilbur and Orville, they were not college-educated. Neither of them had high school graduation degrees. So they don't really want to go. And then luckily their sister Catherine, she says, you guys are going, and I'm going to make sure you go. So she essentially kicks them out of the house. They go and go to this conference, and while they're there, Wilbur realizes that he's the smartest guy in the room when it comes to flight. Like, all these engineers, they don't know how it works. They don't know the different sciences that go into it, but Wilbur does. So that really kind of picks up his spirits and how he's feeling. He's like, hey, I'm the smartest guy here. I should be able to do this. So, like I said, it really reinvigorates him, reafflicts him, I guess. So, like I said, they come back in 1902, do more tests. In 1902, they actually do over 1,000 glides off of this big Kill Devil hill. Before that time, the person who had done previous gliding trials, he did 1,000 in over 6 years. So in 1 month, they did over that. And so they telegraphed their sister back home. They said, we now hold all of the records. So then they go home again, but then they come back in 1903. 1903 is the perfect year for them. That is when all their dreams kind of go together. Science, engineering, everything goes together. And what happens is they were here in September. They wanted to fly and be home before Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, they have some errors, and they're not able to do that. So they do go home, though, before. But then they come back in December. December is also not a really great time to be here because it gets a little chilly. We have a lot more wind than this, and when they're here, it's December 14th they flip a coin to decide who's going to fly first, because that's who's going to fly. I want to do it. No, let's flip a coin. So Wilbur, the older brother, actually does win the coin toss. But on December 14th, the conditions are not as perfect as they wanted them to be, and he never leaves the ground. So they hold off for a couple days because they want to see if they can get a little bit better weather, and they want to be home before Christmas. They promised they would be home before Christmas. So 3 days later, December 17th, right out here, you're gonna be able to see on that map. If you guys walk out there, there's a couple cool things that you can feel. It's Orville's turn because coin toss. It was Wilbur went first, so Orville goes second. And on that morning, at about 10:35, there was winds that are between 25 and 27 mile an hour coming from the north. And they said this is perfect. Little chilly. They had single-digit wind chills, but they start that plane. They have it on the track, and the very first flight takes place. 12 seconds and 120 feet. So I mean, we don't think of that as impressive now, but for self-propelled flight, that was the first time it was ever done. These guys are super excited about it. They have their camera. They had actually brought some people in from around the area from the local life-saving stations, which becomes the U.S. Coast Guard eventually, to help. And they have this one gentleman who's never seen a camera before until that day. And the Wright brothers have their camera set up, and they said, hey, if anything exciting happens, press this bulb, and it will take the photo. We have it pointed in the exact spot that things should happen, but if something cool happens, just squeeze it. He was like, okay. So they do the first flight, and with an engine, yeah, so it does have an engine, yes ma'am. They do that first flight, they run back to the man who took the photo. They said, did you get it, did you get it? And he's like, I don't know. I think I may have squeezed the bulb, but who knows? And back then, of course, we don't have digital cameras, so we don't know what we took a photo of until we get it developed, right? So they don't know what they have. But then, of course, they do the flight 3 more times here. So a total of 4. The brothers taking turns each time. So first was Orville, second was Wilbur, back to Orville, then back to Wilbur. First flight, 12 seconds, 120 feet. Second flight was 12 seconds, 175 feet. Third flight was 15 seconds, 200 feet. Fourth and final flight for that day was going to be over 800 feet, and it was about 59 seconds in the air. So it was just those few moments that changed history, travel history for all of us. They were going to do more tests that day, but like I said, the wind gusts were very high. That their plane was only a 600-pound plane, which, I mean, kind of heavy for them. They didn't tie it down, and it actually went tumbling with the wind, so they had to go and catch it, and it did break into disrepair. Which is unfortunate. But still, they hurry up and go to the post office, and they are able to send a telegram to their brother, who was back in Dayton, Ohio, and says, 4 successful flights, be home by Christmas, and to tell the press. And now that's the story of how air travel changed for humanity. So it's really, really cool how they did that.
It's never going to catch on. That flying
Was it the same glider they used for the 4 flights?
Yep, it was the same glider all 4 flights. Well, it's not a glider, it's actually a plane. A flying machine. Yeah. Do you guys have any other questions? I know that was kind of like a brief history.
Pretty much, that's the history.
That's the history.
After the successful flights, they had peanuts.
Alright guys, we're leaving Kill Devil Hills, aka where the Wright brothers landed and flew. That's where they landed. I'll take them when they take a turn. All these trees and everything. This hasn't changed
Hey folks,
much.
could I have your attention for just a moment, please?
Alright guys, sorry about that. We had a little interruption with our tour guides, aka the gentleman that is running the program. But we're gonna head over to, I think it's like it's not the Christmas shop, but it's in Elizabethan Gardens. We're gonna do that, and then I think we're gonna head back to the hotel, and then I'm gonna try to figure out what we can do the rest of the way. But we're gonna figure out, we'll talk to a couple of people and see what you want to do. But alright, see you in a few minutes. Hey guys, we're heading out even more further, and we're really, it seems like really cool. Go by different places, but they won't stop. So here's Mission Thrift. Here it is here. Man. Yeah, well guys, it's gonna be, tomorrow's gonna be fishing. Wednesday's gonna be fishing, and we're gonna be driving back home. So I'm trying to make the best of this today. You know, we only have until 5:30, and then we gotta all get down there and get ready for this dinner. There's gonna be 1,000 people there tonight, and you know, happy I'm going, but we'll see what happens. You know, but we're gonna go to this place now. I'm showing you some of the little Nag's Head. You know, they have on top of the house. I mean, some of the viewing centers that you can sit on the patio. They build them above on. It's crazy. Alright, I'm gonna let you get going. We'll be back in a few minutes. We are literally on a bridge in Nag's Head, where literally it feels like we're on a bucking horse. This bridge is friggin' nuts. It's so crazy. It's like you see, I'm trying to keep the camera still, and I can't, guys. But this is on the other side of the bridge. We're going over to this other place. I just wanted you to see. This is like, look at some of these boats. I mean, Jesus.
Okay, up comes the Crystal Dawn. She's going to be about 12 boats up on the right. The bow faces us. I think it's yellow on the top. You ready? Set. There it is, Crystal Dawn. She's looking at us right now.
Yeah, that's the boat we're going to be on tomorrow, guys. So, that's what we're on. Pirates Cove.
T
Hey,
is
look at that.
silent.
Pirates
Manio,
Cove.
not Manteo.
Mantail.
Manio.
So, yeah, that's where we're going to be tomorrow,
Just
guys.
like
Tomorrow
boiled and
morning.
boiled. See that?
So, you can see what we're going to do. So, alright. See you in a few.
Beautiful place. There's a nice gift store in here, and the gardens are absolutely fabulous. Waterfalls, statues, a lot of photo opportunities. I got any naked ladies in the statues?
Alright, so we're here. This is Elizabeth Gardens, and we are in Nag's Head, North Carolina. This is the fountain. So, this is towards the end of the season, but you got all different. I know people who like flowers. This is for all the girls. For you can check out some of the flowers. Look at all the flowers, guys. The great gates. So, that's all these needles are like. I don't like this.
Yeah, that's what John was saying, yeah.
And John, you must think we think too much alike.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a dare or something to come out so I can see.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, these are pretty cool flowers. I'm not a big flower person. Yeah, that's...
Right. No, that's a neat mind.
It's almost like the science thing.
It is. It's Atlas. It's an Atlas circuit. If I don't know if you know what a reciprocating circle is. Okay, well, I didn't do much in there. You know, it's gonna be kind of cool. It was nice. I should have grabbed one. I forgot to. But Billy grabbed one, and it's Southern Magnolia. But they're already dead, so no big deal. Well, we'll talk to you later, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Hey YouTubers, I'm sorry, but we just started, and we're at the Mantail Basketball Court Lions Club, so here it is beginning.
Again this year, Mary's going to come up. Mary's with the Division of Deaf and Hard of Hearing. She has assisted listening devices, and she's going to speak to you briefly.
Yes, hi. I work in services for the deaf and hard of hearing, and as a sister agency, we also work with the Lions Club. We provide assisted listening devices. So those of you who are hard of hearing that are struggling with listening to the presenter this evening, please come over here to my left, your right, and you can borrow one of these while the presenters are speaking, because we want you to be able to get the full experience. At the end of the speakers and the presentation, when all of the presentations end, you'll need to return them. We'll do this Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evening. So feel free to come over there and we'll help you in every way possible. Thank you.
She comes every year and does that.
I'd like to introduce the head table. To my left, normally Hood. Beside her, she told me, introduced me as the love of your life. My wife, Tiny Curtis. The other love of my life.
Okay, we have a wonderful opportunity in chapel. Does anybody have extra seats next to where you are? We have 52 VIPs with no place to sit. So if you have a seat, would you please raise your hand so that, okay, Ray, you got, Jana, do you all see the hands that are raised? They have seats by them. And on the other hand, if we happen to have any volunteers sitting in here that have finished eating, if you're willing to vacate your seat, do so and we'll seat the VIPs. Ron, you're not out of here yet. We've got them down here, we've got them on both sides of the head table. Okay, Ronnie, you can now continue. Oh, you all aren't to leave. No. Pardon me? We have 9 empty seats right over here. No, Kim, you all aren't to leave at all. No, you're not. You're supposed to sit.
4 here.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
They got it.
Doing good, buddy?
Go.
Okay.
I know, literally.
The other love of my life.
Yeah, really, exactly. You get the bar out in the truck, remember?
I have Miss Cynthia Spake. Next to Cynthia is Bill Brock, one of our board members who's in charge of fishing this year.
I was there. I did 9 field affairs. I did 11.
We have Francine Hines with us from the Columbia Club. They have the Plymouth Club. Now you know why they had me up here. She's going to have a few words. And
I'll look for you a little bit.
All right, you gonna walk around?
Let the man sit.
Gotcha.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Francine Hines. I'm the president of the Plymouth Lions Club. It is a great pleasure for me to be here tonight. This is my first rodeo. I have been a part of the Plymouth Lions Club now going on 5 years. And it is a pleasure being a sponsor and having provided food here for this event. Columbia Lions Club, like I said, this is our first rodeo, and we sponsor the chicken, and everything. So thank you, everybody, and thank you, my fellow Lions that came tonight to help serve and be a part and sponsor this great event. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Francine. Rhett, will you come up and say a few words and have a prayer for us? You've already heard that the food was prepared by the Plymouth and the Columbia Lions Club. Gwen and I, thank you. Gwen and I have the honor and the privilege to be a member of both the First Flight Lions Club, which is a major sponsor of this event and originator of this event, but also to be associate members of the Columbia Lions Club. So, like our sister club of Plymouth, we want to thank the members of the Lions Club in Columbia that joined us today, helped us with the barbecue and the beans. And at this time, it's certainly appropriate that we quiet ourselves, that we bow our heads, that we close our eyes and shut out the distractions that are around us, so that we might be thankful for the food that most of us have already had a chance to eat, but others may be partaking of at this time. Let us bow our heads. Our Father, we thank you very much for the opportunity that we have this evening and these 3 days. We thank you for the opportunity that we have to renew friendships, to fellowship together, to have a recreational experience that is unique for so many people. We are thankful that you are with us and that you've brought us together safely. And we pray that you'll continue to be with us throughout this week and that you'll keep us safe. We ask a special thanks for the Lions Club members that are here and the other volunteers who are not Lions Club members that have given some of their time this week to be here and be with our VIPs. We ask now that you bless this food that we've enjoyed, that you make sure that it nourishes our bodies so that we might grow strong, so that we might be able to do the things that you would have us do, and we'll give you all the glory. This is our prayer. Amen.
Amen. About to do. How you do it?
The VIP board this morning announced that this year's tournament is dedicated in the memory of William Bill Hood. Bill was a long-time VIP board member. He served us over 30 years. I will have a few remarks about Bill. We have with us tonight Bill's wife, Norma Lee Hood, and she is going to speak to you now.
Thank you, Ron. Bill Wood was my partner and best friend for 63 years.
Wow.
Lion Bill loved the VIP fishing tournament and all of you who he met over 30 years. I would like to thank the Board of Directors, the VIP Board of Directors, for dedicating this year's tournament to Lion Bill. Also, I want to thank my local and Maryland families for their tournament support and participation over the years. In closing, I'm going to repeat Bill's parting words each tournament Monday night. Of course, he would be the weather forecaster for tomorrow, which is cloudy and temps in the 60s or 70s. He would want you to have fun tomorrow and catch a lot of fish. Thank you.
I'm really surprised you guys don't videotape any of this stuff like this.
You know, usually they do.
Oh.
Usually
What I'll do is I'll get their, I'll send them their email, I'll send them the video. Now.
No problem. There's usually a lot of things. There's usually a lot.
I don't see anybody videotaping.
There have been a few of the VIPs that came in that have not yet been served. If you would raise your hands so Jana can see where you're seated, we will get your food. Jana on your left. Please keep your hands up. She's trying to get a head count.
That was when we left, they were just people that's going here. They just pulled into the hotel, so that's probably why they're. Yeah.
Jana, are you good?
I mean, we were leaving at 1:30, and they were just getting.
Yeah, same thing with us. Yeah. We learned. You get here early. Because you know the food's gonna be hot. It's gonna be good.
We used to come down on Monday morning. That last quite a few years, we come down on
This morning, we had breakfast with the volunteers to come in and work to make this a successful tournament. I had a chance to tell them about my friend Bill Hood, particularly to the VIPs that are here tonight. There's something that you need to know. Bill Hood served on the board of directors to make this event possible for you guys for 30 years. I took a count this morning, and the 3 most senior members of our current board have a total of 29 cumulative years.
Wow.
He served you for 30 years. He was one of my 2 mentors. I met with him often, and we would talk about the issues that we thought we had, and having you guys come be with us. We would talk about problems, we'd talk about our finances, we would talk about members of the board who didn't see things exactly right. We would talk about all of the issues that have to be resolved in order to have this event take place. No matter what the issues were, no matter how disillusioned I might get, when we got ready to leave, Bill would always say to me, remember one thing, This is not about you, Ronnie, and it's not about me. This is about the visually impaired of North Carolina. If I could, if you would help me verbally celebrate the life of William Hood with a loud round of applause. One hell of a guy. I told you earlier I was going to ask a small favor. I don't always do things in a conventional manner. My wife and I celebrated an anniversary a couple of days ago. And a few years ago, I absolutely forgot our anniversary.
Oh, that's not good.
I am good at what I do. So this year I decided we would have a surprise anniversary party. We would invite about 325 VIPs, about 200 of their guests, about 200 Lions from across the state of North Carolina. She also told me not to bring up her name. Happy anniversary, dear.
That's a cop-out.
I have a couple of stories that the one person with the visually impaired fishing tournament that all of you know is Gwen White. I have a couple of stories about my friend Gwen White I thought I'd share with you. However, when I drove in this morning, I saw that she had some of her friends put a hangman's noose out back by the cooking table. So we'll bypass that for now. One point. Over 30 years, Gwen White and I have had a friendship. Gwen says, "You don't need that." I said, "Gwen, it's just my comfort zone. My buddy, Bill Hood, is not going to be with me this year. Please let me have a few things that I need." She said, "I told you, you don't need them." So I told her, "You're in charge of Westgate Park. You have 12 people up front that creates your comfort zone. So here's what we're going to do. Every time I ask you for something I need on Jeanette's pier, and you say no, you throw out one of yours at Westgate Park." We went in and ate, and she kept, I could see on her face she was pondering. We come outside and she says to me, "You know, for the first time, you have finally said something that I understand." We get in the car. She says, "You didn't react the way I thought you would. I thought you'd be happy." I said, "Well, it's been 30 damn years. And this is the first thing that you understand?" She decided to get back at me and put me up here. We now, if I could, if past International Director Lacey is available, if he could come down front. He is down here. Oh. Mr. Lacey, we're right down here in front of the microphone, please, sir.
Lacey Presnell, Lacey and Esther Presnell, VIP Ambassador Award that was presented ever was #1 was done by Bill Hood. So we have been very proud that all of the VIP Ambassador Awards is something that he took great pride in. Lacey is the oldest rat in the barn, and those are his words, not mine.
Wow.
He just celebrated his 90th birthday.